All right, 14. Activists. Medical conditions such as cancer and birth defects have been linked to pollutants in water. Okay. Organic pollutants such as Ds and inorganic pollutants such as mercury are ingested by fish and move up the food chain to people, where they accumulate in tissue. Okay. Since most cancers and birth defects are incurable, we need to aim at their prevention. Clearly, the only effective way to reduce significantly their overall incidence is to halt industries known to produce these pollutants, given that such industries are unlikely to comply adequately with strict environmental regulations. All right, so our conclusion is the only effective way to reduce significantly their overall incidence is to halt industries known to produce these pollutants. And we're talking about these pollutants that are led to think that they might be linked to cancer. Well, I guess like one thing is just because these things are linked to cancer, does that mean that the only effective way to reduce significantly their overall incidence is to halt these is this is the only effective way since they're not is to halt these industries? Like couldn't there be another effective way? So A says, so this is a flaw question. So we want to ask ourselves, does this happen and is it a problem? A says fails to consider the possibility that a significant number of occurrences of cancer and birth defects may have caused by preventable factors other than yes, maybe there are other effective ways or other things that we can do to prevent cancer other than just the industry pollutants. I like A already. B says does not consider the possibility that pollutants can cause harm. No, we don't care about non human species, unfortunately, so we're going to cross that one off. C says takes for granted that certain effects can be produced independently by several different causes. So this would be that takes for granted that certain effects can be produced independently by several. Okay, so for this question, what that is referring to is these two that cancer and birth defects can be produced independently by something different. So like we have cancer or we have birth defects and there's something different that is causing both of those things. And that's not what's happening in our argument, so it's not C. D says fails to consider whether industries may voluntarily like we don't like our issue is not that industries like we want to put this regulation on industries because we don't think they're going to listen. Our issue is that we think that this is the only way to go about it. That's why D is wrong. And then E is fails to consider the possibility that chemicals now classified as pollutants have some beneficial yet like no. Just because they have something beneficial that we haven't thought of isn't the reason why that our argument is invalid. So it's not D, and that's why our answer is going to be A.